Our uncle is Gamlin Amel. He knows we're coming.
He's a nobleman here in the city. Our family has an estate.
A nobleman? The only Gamlin I know is a weasel who couldn't rub two coppers together.
About the estate, it's... gone. You and your sister have to work off the debt. For a year.
Let's just see what happens. We have a long year ahead of us.
How do you do? Varric Tethras, at your service. We don't need another hireling. We need a partner. Invest in the expedition. 50 sovereigns and he can't refuse. Kirkwall's crawling with work. You set aside some coin from every job and you'll have the money in no time.
Maybe Aveline can find us some work. Hello, Hawk. I might have a job for you. My patrols may be empty walks in the dark, but there's something big coming up, and I could use you. An ambush, probably for a caravan, although I can't find any shipments that match up. Might be some stragglers before the main group. Nothing we can't handle.
There's our targets.
For the
Kirkwall Guard!
But don't get full of yourself. Well equipped for bandits, but dead is dead and the road is clear. Captain Jevon needs to know of this. Back to the barracks for your just reward. There's Jevon's office. Wait while I explain our initiative.
I don't know how they do it where you're from, guardswoman, but I decide the patrols, not you and your whims. You may have been put up for lieutenant in your first year, but I'll have no show-offs in my command. Have I made myself clear? Report to your post before I have you and your Ferelden accomplice jailed.
A lot of yelling for doing him a favor.
We killed a band of highwaymen. What does it matter whose patrol it was? It's not the first time he's made me wonder like this. Something is very wrong.
So let's find out whose toes you actually stepped on.
Then we should check the duty roster and see who was supposed to take that route. What have I stepped in this time? Threaten my friends. Not letting that one go, Captain.
Aveline! I owe you for clearing that ambush the other night. Saved me a mess of trouble.
Brennan, that route was yours?
It was. Single patrol. I'd have been dead for sure.
A lone guard isn't much of a patrol.
Shouldn't need to be. That route was clear for weeks. First noise out of it was your big fight. The captain reassigned me after he heard what you did, and I passed the satchel to Donnick for his patrol tonight.
The satchel?
Pay and order assignments. Captain has us run deliveries to the outposts during light duty. It's usually just an updated copy of the roster. The satchel for that night was heavy, though. Anyway, thanks again, Aveline. You're a good one.
So the satchel gets heavy the same day we discover an ambush?
You're sure you want to pursue this? This is your superior we're talking about.
If a guard has been put at risk, a good captain would want to know why. And if he's not a good captain, I want to know why.
I bet there's a perfectly reasonable lie that explains why your captain arranged this.
I'd be willing to hear it, but not while a guard may be walking into a trap. Brennan said Donnick. A good man. Donnick. I've got his route. A night walk in Lowtown. Let's go make sure his quiet patrol stays that way. We can't waste time, Hawk. Guardsman Donnick is here somewhere. Get close to the ambush. I'm not losing another guard to this mess.
Who? Aveline? You're a beautiful sight.
Guardsman?
I mean, I was on patrol and they came out of nowhere. I took a few down, but there were too many at once. The captain said this route was supposed to be quiet.
The seal of the Viscount. Office details. City accounts.
Valuable to a guild of thieves.
A sacrificial delivery with one of our own. Captain Jevon will answer.
Selling out his own? Forget guard captain. This man needs to be in government.
Not now, Hawk. Jevon needs to see how justice works. This goes to the office of the Viscount. This will be known. If the captain likes his thieves so much, let's see if they welcome him in prison.
How dare you! I am guard captain! I won't be treated like this! Ferelden, bitch! This was none of your affair! I'll see you hanged! Quartered! This will not stand!
We found a number of debts to suspect peoples. Such poor character. But you, Aveline Valen, have proven your loyalty and ability.
The guard deserves better than him, Messire.
Indeed. The Viscount would have you put your care for the men into direct practice. You will assume the captain's job.
What?
In due time, of course. There will be training, approvals, months at least. But who better to rebuild respect than the woman who exposed this embarrassment? Resolve any outstanding business, guardswoman. You will be very busy.
Hard to believe they left me nothing.
Well, Mother was pretty steamed when you ran off with your Ferelden apostate.
I'm still their daughter, their eldest. My children have been in servitude for a year. They should be nobility.
If wishes were poppy, we'd all be dreaming.
You mean this is real? No wonder I can't wake up.
And here I thought that Ferelden you ran off with was a mage, not a jester. Your mother was supposed to marry the Comte de Launcey, and instead she ran off with some Ferelden apostate. You don't get to stay the favorite when you do that.
Where is Father's will? If I could just see for myself.
It's not here, all right? It was read, it went in the vault. No one needed to look at it again.
I know the Amels were nobility, Mother, but not much else. Why don't you ever talk about them?
The Amels have been a noble family in Kirkwall since Garahel drove out the Fourth Blight. But we've always carried magic in our blood. It's been a stain on our lineage. No family of good standing would ever marry into a line with magic. When I chose your father, I was bringing more magic into our line, not less. I think that's what hurt my parents the most.
Did Grandfather mention Mother in his will at all?
Our father died when you were still in Pinafores, girl. You can hardly expect me to remember.
Sounds like a yes to me.
That touched a nerve. What's in there that you don't want us to see?
Nothing. But you won't be seeing the bloody thing. It's still locked up on the estate, and that's long out of my hands.
You didn't take your parents' will?
It was old news. You think I've been sitting here for 25 years waiting for Leandra to slink back?
Who bought the estate, Gamlen? Perhaps I could speak to them. Was it the Reinhardts?
No one you know. Get used to Lowtown, sister. That's where we're going to stay.
So, I hate thinking badly of family. But did Uncle Gamlen seem a little slippery when he talked about Grandfather's will? If he, say, invested money that was meant to be Mother's, do you think he would tell us?
Gamlen can't say good morning without lying twice.
Mother's been in such a fit of melancholy since Gamlen told her how angry her parents were about Father. She told me she wishes she'd died with Carver. It's like coming here ruined every good memory of her childhood. I wish we could get some of it back.
Unless we somehow turn Gamlen into an upstanding citizen, what's done is done.
Gamlen told me he gave the estate as payment to some slaver who beat him at dice.
Apparently, our ancestral home is now a base for slavers from all over Thedas.
Gamling couldn't have just sold himself and saved us all the trouble.
Can you just imagine him sweeping and scrubbing for some Tevinter matriarch? Seriously, though, those scum have no right to our family's things. We should break in there. Get the will for Mother. I already talked to both of them about this. Gamlen said they guard the front entrance well. But Mother gave me her old key. She said it should unlock the cellar. Apparently the sewers run right beneath the house. I think this is the cellar door. Let's go in and see why Gamlen lied. That's the vault!
Not going to happen.
Everything we want to know about our family is inside. This is it! Grandfather's will. Mother needs to see this as soon as possible.
We'll take it to her right now.
So I'm just saying, blood's blood and all, but you are taking advantage of my hospitality. It's only fair if you make something of a monthly contribution.
You sold my children into servitude. Now you're asking me to pay rent?
Maybe just put something towards food.
You should be paying us, Uncle. We found the will.
He forgave you, Mother. Grandfather left you everything. Here, read it.
I should maybe...
To my daughter Leandra, and all children born of her, the estate in Hightown and all associated revenues.
Check out the part where Gamlen is left only a stipend, to be controlled by you.
Gamlen, how could you?
You're the one who ran away, Leandra. What happened to love is so much more important than money.
It is!
You didn't even come home for the funeral.
The twins were a week old.
We all have our burdens. Mine was looking after a life you abandoned. How long was I supposed to wait?
I doubt you let the ashes get cold.
I took care of Father. I stayed. And on his deathbed, all he could talk about was Leandra. Look, sister, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done it, but I did. And there's nothing I can do to get it back.
I don't expect that, Gamlen. It's enough to know Mother and Father didn't die angry. I'll petition the Viscount for rights to reclaim the estate. Make her willing, you'll have your house back within weeks.
You don't have the coin or standing to even get an audience with the Viscount. You've got to be someone in this city to live in that house again.
Then I had better get started. Why don't you go pick up something at the market? You could use some air.
What? Hey!
I can't believe Gamlen stole Mother's entire inheritance. I mean, I can believe it. That's the worst part. I could never turn against my own sister like that.
You're a better person than Gamlen could ever be.
Well, hopefully we'll be out of here soon. You know, when we went to look for that will, I thought we were doing it for Mother, for what she lost. I didn't realize how much it would mean to me. To know I had grandparents who didn't hate me.
I wish they had lived long enough to see us come home.
Home. That's what it is, isn't it? I liked saying that. We're not running away again. We're coming home.
Are you unhappy here?
I wish I could do more for Mother. Carver's death. It's killing her slowly every day. But maybe if we can reclaim some of what she lost, it will help. I'd do anything to get us back a normal life.
Why did Mother and Father work so hard to keep you from the Circle? Would it have been so bad?
I guess at first, I was just a little girl. They didn't want to lose me. And once I had learned anything, What would the Templars do to an active apostate, not just a mageblood child? It changed their lives, your life, Carver's, all because of who I am. Sometimes I wonder if it would have been so bad to be with my own kind, to serve the Chantry as Andraste demands.
What do you think Carver would have made of all this?
He would have hated this place, all the sneering nobles. He'd have gotten himself arrested the first day, and he would have wanted in on your Deep Roads expedition. Anything to make a name for himself. Sometimes I still can't believe he's gone.
Can you imagine if we'd grown up here? Been nobility?
Had grandparents who bought us all liege and silk dresses with lace petticoats. Father was a good man, but Mother gave up so much for him. Of course, if she hadn't worked up the nerve to elope, she probably wouldn't have been able to resist the Templars either. If we'd been born here, you'd be nothing more to me than a name the Circle kept in my file.
We're going to make this our home, Bethany. I promise you.
I hope so, sister. I'm so very tired of running. When I told your grandmother I was marrying your father, she threatened to disown me. She said my children would be mongrels. My father wanted to lock me in, but she told him it's her life, let her ruin it. I wrote to her when each of you were born. She never wrote back. I'm glad she didn't die hating me.
The estate is yours. Why are we still here?
Technically, the house is now property of the Viscount, since its owner died without an heir. If we went there now, we would just be squatters. But if the Viscount acknowledges our rights, we can get back more than the house. We can get back our name.
Grandmother didn't want you to leave. She tried holding on to you the only way she knew.
She would have been so proud of you. You're everything she wanted in an Amel grandchild. She might have had a hard time accepting it at first, but she would have loved you, all three of you. Carver. He was such a little boy. Never had a knee that wasn't scraped or trousers without holes.
The last thing Carver would want is more crying.
I just keep thinking there's something we could have done. It's killing me. I remember that awful creature reaching down and 18 years of loving and feeding and raising and... that was it.
Blame the Darkspawn, not yourself.
The ogre would have been happy with any prey. It was my fault it was Carver. I miss him. There were 4 of us when the Blight began. It will never be over while there are just 3. I've written to the Viscount. I've an audience for after Bartrand's expedition leaves. I couldn't do anything for Carver, but with luck, I could at least give us a home.
You show admirable restraint, Bethany.
For a mage, you mean?
I could also say for a hawk. But yes, for a mage.
You have a sword. Why aren't you killing someone right now?
Fair point, but I can put my sword down.
Believe me, I have tried.
I'm sorry I couldn't get you more information about the Circle, Bethany. It's difficult without naming you.
Thank you for being discreet. I don't want the Templars at my door.
No one does.
Let them corral the troublemakers. I just want information.
Right, right.
It sounds like I'm trying to convince myself, doesn't it?
I wouldn't have said, but yes.
So, here's the thing. We need to find a way into the Deep Roads. Bartrand can lead us to the right place once we're down there, but we need a good entrance.
Any entrance would do, wouldn't it? Well, unless a dragon's sitting in it, I suppose.
We need an entrance that's close to our destination, but isn't already plundered or filled with darkspawn. Fortunately, I've received some new information. There's a Grey Warden in the city. If anyone knows how to get down there, it'll be him.
Why would a Grey Warden know that?
The Wardens don't just fight darkspawn. They forge into the Deep Roads all the time. And if he doesn't know, he might be able to point us to those who do.
Are there any other options?
None at the moment. Bartrand had an entrance lined up, but it was a bust. I'll keep looking, but if we don't find something, we'll have a fancy expedition with nowhere to go.
Sounds like you have it all planned out, Varric.
And that, Messer, is why I'm here. Supposedly, this Grey Warden came in with some other Ferelden refugees not long ago. A Lowtown woman named Lorene has been helping the Fereldans. We talked to her. Maybe we learn where he is. I'll keep after my contacts, see if I can drum up any other work.